Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is your Sensei Al Bob, and welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with your Sensei Al Bob. Me, your Griot, here to tell you a story. And don't believe a word I say, and I would suggest that anyone with a snowflake intellect shouldn't be watching this show. Right? And here it is, 11:18 a.m. in the Eastern Standard Time, and the narrative. What's the narrative? We've been stuck in a narrative for almost a million years. We don't know our history. We don't know where we came from. We don't know what we are, right? We are given this. And in the beginning, everything was dark. And then there was all this light. You know, what does that mean? What is all these books, right? These narratives. Uh, uh, The best narrative you should be looking at is your Akashic record, your own narrative. Well, let's go there. It's like, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Right? It's a wonderful day for a narrative. Wouldn't you like a shoe to live in? It's a wonderful day to being told what you are. It's a wonderful day to not wish on a star, to stick your head in the sand. That's the narrative. And here we are in 2022. Time goes by so quickly when you're having fun. The nailing of Jesus to the cross, and a good 300 years of feeding his followers to lions. And, after that circus got boring, Constantine said, hey, let's all be Christians. It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. It's a wonderful day to have a narrative. Wouldn't you like to live in a shoe box? Just big enough to be your coffin. And you live in that, you know? Oh, 7 billion plus Homo sapiens sapiens living in a bathtub of goo, being the ever ready battery for the reptile business plan. It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood, eating GMOs and breathing silver iodine, which wouldn't be bad for you if it didn't have nanoparticles of plutonium. Wouldn't you like it? Who needs to look at a blue sky when we can have a silver sky? It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood, being fried by your big, 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 big 25G internet, brought to you by Elon Musk. Hi, I'm Elon Musk, and I got 50,000 satellites right over your head. You don't need no stinking power lines. Just, I'm gonna give you this little box that you carry everywhere, and it's not, it's not even, like this big. It's this big. This right here. That's your new cell phone right there, right? It's an implant. Yeah. It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. Don't you want to be implanted like you should? Follow the narrative. Follow the narrative. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with your Sensei Al Bob. So I don't know if any one of you are getting a little bell, but it's 5 minutes and 44 seconds into the show, and no one's here, and no thumbs up. And I guess you don't like my little Mr. Rogers parody. Well, let's call a friend.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
Hello, this is Max.
Is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options. To leave a callback number, press 5.
Hey, Maxo. It's your buddy. Just playing phone tag. I love you, buddy. You stay well. I'm doing a live chat, and I'm pretending I'm Mr. Rogers. It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. Watching the narrative like you should. Don't you want to put your head in the sand? It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. You're gonna have to be wearing a hood. Wouldn't you like to live in a box? Anyway, it's always good. Love you. And that's what counts. Love. Love is the only thing that's real. That's the only thing that matters. It's the only thing that exists. All else is illusion. I suggest that you don't believe a word I say. It'd be safer for you. In the short run. Long run, I don't know. Like I said, I've been talking about the big splat for a good 3 years. And the beginning of 2021, or the end of 2022, December 2022, I said, hey, gang, I like 2020. It's been interesting, eh? And now we have a new shekel, a new poster boy, Jojo, the used car salesman, right? And the narrative, it doesn't seem to hold together. I mean, it didn't even hold together with Donnie Chimp, but he lied so much that he told the truth. That was the unexpected consequence of the hidden hand. Hidden hand had pruned and nourished Donald Trump since a boy, right? And put him through all those tests of torturing his mother and suckling his father and being mind controlled at Montauk by his uncle John Trump, the man who went in and took everything out of Tesla's apartment. And the New Yorker Hotel, which was, New Yorker Hotel was quite an interesting building. It was similar to the alien technology that was the Chrysler building. And the first alien technology that was the Woolworth building. The first building coined the phrase skyscraper, right, in the 1890s. And it was terracotta, concrete terracotta. And I was working for Joe Battle Foundry and in the Bronx. And we competed for a contract to fix the building. It was kind of falling apart. And so we were given the keys to go all over the building, measure it, and understand what the causes of the deterioration was, along with other contractors. It was a bid contract, right? And all the other contractors said that they would put scaffolding around the building and then repoint all of the terracotta tiles and, basically glue ones that had fallen off back on. And we bid to bronze the whole building, right? And they were going to put up scaffolding, and we were going to make a robot, one of those window washing scaffoldings that go up. You put the hooks up the top, and then you kind of electrically bring it up and down. Well, we got one of those, and we put it instead of hooking it up to the building, we put it on wheels with weights that could just roll slowly, and we put spray metallizers, right? And we put a bubble around the scaffolding, and we, and we were going to bronze the whole building. And the other contractors couldn't guarantee their work for more than 20 years. And we were going to give a 100-year guarantee and bronze the building. It would look really cool, bronze, right? And, turn it into statuary, because that's what we did. And we bronzed a back part, the most, the corner of the building that got the worst wear of weather, right? And that was in the worst of its presence, right? And we sprayed, metallized 2 floors on one side of the corner and 2 floors on the other side of the corner. And from the top were all the filigree and we sprayed all of the architectural. They had all these little statuaries all over it, and we did all of that. And it's interesting because we had UL Labs, and other. So we did 2 floors, really 4 floors, because we did 2 floors of 2 corners of the same 2 floors at the most critical point in the building that got the worst wear. And UL Laboratories. Now, the other guys, all they did was take little chunks of the building and showed what they would do by repointing it. And UL Labs stated that our process was remarkable and that they would guarantee it for 100 years. And the other contractors did not, the UL Labs said that they couldn't guarantee them for more than 10 years, right? And the other guys wanted $20 million. We only wanted 10, plus the cost of the bronze, because that was a variable. So they buy the bronze material, and we do everything else, and 10 million, right? And Joe realized that because we were also the other guy said it was going to take a year to 2 years to do it, and we were going to do it in 2 months. Because it was a robotic thing, and it would just keep doing it morning, day, and night. We didn't really need a lot of people. It's just 2 people feeding the machine, and we had sensors, computer-aided sensors that kept the quality of the process. And it was going to spray a centimeter deep, and it was like unbelievable, right? And we lost the contract, and the company, insurance company, the building sued the corporation, the Woolworth Corporation, because they said they wouldn't insure the building unless they used our process, because UL Laboratories said we were the best and guaranteed it to last for 100 years. And but what happened was Woolworth started its own insurance company and insured itself. And basically, there was a crony capitalist kickback in the motif. And the other three contractors that put in a bid, basically, the one that got it gave the other two $1 million and kicked back five to a crony capitalist within the Woolworth structure. And that was just a good example of why Woolworths doesn't exist anymore, right? Because crony capitalism may be good for the moment, right, for that specific incident, but not so good for the long term. And so crony capitalism has been going along pretty much for 1,000,000 years, give or take. I mean, the best point to start looking at it is Babylon, and that's about 160,000 years ago. But it was going on before. The Phoenicians and even the Lemurians and the Atlanteans, for all of their high standards of moral character, not so much. They're pretty much like the Greeks. They were probably as close to having a moral standard, but it lasted, I don't know, 300 years, give or take. The Romans, their moral standards didn't last more than maybe 120 years. Now their empire, both those empires lasted longer than their moral standards. But whereas the European imperial, which is the extrapolation of the Roman Empire, when it collapsed, it didn't collapse in reality. It just rebranded itself. The Roman Empire collapsed, then the Holy Roman Empire came, right? And that collapsed, and then the Catholic Church and the Vatican came, and that collapsed, and then Spain, which took up the mantle of the protector of the Catholic liturgy, and they collapsed. And then England was, and they, rebranded into a more, diversified motif of Christianity, but still at its base was the corporate structure of the pyramid. Right? One man at the top, the royal family underneath him, and then the dukes and duchesses and earls and etc. That was the middle management. And then there was the market-driven business folk, and then there were the serfs, right? Who were just the thralls, who were just, the cannon fodder, the chattel. And every war was an excuse for the worst level of, human characteristic, right? Not the divine, but the deviant, the demonic. And the demonic, again, is something rebranded, to be like, ooh, it's the devil. The devil made me do it. No. It's your inability to do your best. Your lazy attitude towards just slovenly spirituality, right? Or which leads to no spirituality, which leads to dogma, which leads to religion, really, leads to transactional, soul selling. Right? Oh, so no one's here, no one's chatting. 6:00 in Europe. Okay, it's Sunday. Everyone's more interested in being distracted. Okay, so I'll say au revoir. Remember, come look at the show at Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Al Bob, your Kriat. And when I come back on, maybe around 5 o'clock, which would be about 10 o'clock European time, I'll tell stories. Just, stories, right? No liturgy, no inspiration. Well, my stories are always inspirational, but, so, 21 minutes and 1 second was long enough. Okay. Good luck. Whoops. Hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong button.